this is the first time we're actually going to be doing a remote podcast. And who better to have for my very first podcast, my very best friend in the entire world. Today is the first day I am actually going to be doing a remote podcast. A remote podcast?
A remote podcast.
A remote podcast. My very first podcast remotely is with my very best friend in the entire world. So everybody give a round of applause to the best human on this planet, Renee Martin Brown, or as I like to call her, Nay. Say hi, Nay.
Hi! So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. It's more like I'm going to apologize to you for the 5 hours it took to actually set us up to make this happen. So, and we're still alive. We're sweating like, but we're here.
We are here. And I'll take 5 hours with you in any facet, even if that means sweltering in our cute crew necks to get her done.
Can we talk about the crew necks for a second? Because you said you can like I'll wear my pink crew neck, and like you could wear did you tell me to wear my blue crew neck?
I did.
And I love my blue crew neck, but here's the thing, like there's an oil stain on the front of it, so I'm wearing it backwards.
Nobody would know that. I like the blue because it makes your eyeballs pop out.
Stop it right now.
And pink, obviously, for the room.
Your studio looks absolutely gorgeous, as usual.
Thanks.
Look at us with our swanky mics. So here's the thing. We didn't even talk about what we're going to talk about today. We were just like throwing this together and said, we really should be doing a podcast because we have been BFFs for 37 years? Over 35 years?
Yeah, at least something like that. In 1986, as far as I can remember. It's a long time.
We're definitely aging ourselves here. And why do you think we have been BFFs for over 35 years? Like, and not really, seriously without a hitch?
No, I think it's because we have lots in common and we just have like an amazing amount of respect for each other, and we don't take any time together for granted because we never really had a lot of it. If you think about it, lots of people say like, oh, did you and Bree go to school together? And really, we went to school together for 8 months. That's it in our whole lives. And it was like, years into meeting each other. And, we met when I was 11. You were 11-ish. And, we didn't have school together until our first year of university, and it was just for that year. So I think it's just a love of music and so many things in common, and just that admiration and appreciation for each other and the friendship that we have. I think that's what's carried us through all of the years and all of the distance.
And this girl lives, 1,200 miles away?
1,200 miles, 1,800 kilometers.
And we've had a lot of fun experiences and a lot of fun times together and joys of traveling together.
Everyone should travel with a ginger friend. Things are much more exciting when you travel with a ginger.
Are they, though? It's probably time for a little drink. We should cheers.
Oh, well, let me just
look
help
at
myself.
You go.
I know.
Yin and yang. Cheers to the bestest friend in the entire world.
In the whole entire world.
That's actually really good on a Tuesday afternoon. Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday afternoon. Well, and I'm melting in my crew neck. Let's be honest. It's 25 degrees here. Well, I think we should go back to the beginning because one of my favorite, like I said, my people say, oh, did you and Bree go to school together? And, for your listeners, to me, you're just Bree. And everybody knows you as something else. It's kind of like being married to Bud, who's not really Bud. Sometimes he's Ken. And then all of a sudden he was Earl. And then I didn't know who I was married to. And it was very confusing for a while. But there are not too many people who call you just Bree. But you've always just been Bree to me. So, Bree, EBP, Aaron Bree, all the same person for any of you who are wondering. But people say well, how did you and Bree meet? Did you go to school together? And I'm like, well, no, we actually met competing against each other where
we're going into
we were
this,
singing.
are we? We're going into
Well, no, because you know what?
where it all began.
Your audience needs to know that you came in with a secret weapon. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. No. And I'll always be mad about it because we always lost except for 1 year. But our group never beat your group because you had a secret weapon. And who was it?
Frank Pierce.
Frank Pierce.
That's my dad.
Secret weapon. We were singing a song from the hymnal that, was in unison. Maybe every once in a while it had a descant part. And that was it.
So just for the all our 4 viewers, what does that mean? Like a simplistic version?
Yeah, like it was one line. It was one vocal line. That was it. That's all you got. And I was like, oh, yeah, like we nailed that. That was amazing. We sounded so good.
And you did.
And then okay, thanks. And then in comes your group singing in 4-part harmony with Mr. Pierce at the piano, directing you all. It was like, oh, we did not have a secret weapon. We did not have Frank Pierce in our pocket.
He's a badass musician.
We always got to go to the big festival together, and that's where our memories started.
That's how we became friends. When I whooped her
no, thank you.
bum in a competition. Mm-hmm. That's what she tells everybody.
Yeah. Well, you also beat me by 1 mark all the way through first year university. You got like a bonus point for the red hair. Not fair.
We sat at tables. Like, how ridiculous are they to think that you sit at tables of 2 and you're doing like university grade exams? And we would literally swap pages, and I'd fill in what I didn't know, and she'd fill in what she didn't know. And I always got a mark higher.
Always. Always. Like by 1 mark. What? It was almost comical by the end, except like not, but almost comical. Like it was like, oh yeah, 92 for me. I wonder what Brie got. Oh, 93.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Good times.
We always got in the 90s, which was really great. I mean, we did because
we knew our stuff.
Okay, so we have basically touched on how we met, and now we've touched on the badass of my parents, how we used to cheat in university. So Nay and I used to go to Cuba almost every year, like to a beach vacation. We went to Cayo Coco.
In our late 20s. We went to Veradero first.
Yeah.
And then we went to Cayo Coco for like
Veradero.
Lots of years.
That was an eye-opener.
It is the ginger report, so we should report on the ginger's escapades in Veradero. What about that time you went on a horseback ride? That was Veradero.
Dude.
That was interesting.
Dude, okay. How old were we?
We went to we can skip the horseman if you want, because maybe we're not ready for that.
I mean, people need to know. They need to be warned. So we're on the beach in Veradero. Beautiful beach. We're in our 20s. We're having a really good time. We're wearing our bikinis like we do. And this guy is going up and down the beach, and he is the horseman. Ivan the horseman. His name is Ivan. And Ivan gives back rides. So he decides, or I guess I decided, like, yeah, I'll go on. Like, he was talking to me. I don't know. Nay can tell our stories way better than I can because I see it completely different the way she sees it, which is hysterical. Every time she tells a story, I'm like, okay, is that really what happened? Anyway, he says, yeah, I can do a horse ride at 5 o'clock. Well, everybody's gone by 5 o'clock on the beach. Then, like, yes, like the whole like sunsetty thing, that's cool. So Nay walks me down to the beach, and I meet Ivan the horseman on the beach, and he takes me off in the horse.
In your mini skirt.
Oh, was I wearing a mini
on
skirt?
the horse?
See, this was
you were wearing a very short skirt.
I was wearing a mini skirt. Oh, this is like serious stuff.
On the horse.
And here's
with
the other
Ivan
thing.
the horseman. And you left me on the beach by myself while you took off with the horseman. With no cell phones. Can we also just go back to the fact that this was 1999? And there were no cell phones, people. There were no cell phones. There were no tracking devices. There was no Find Your Friend. No. When she left with the horseman, bye. Have a great time.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
It was bad.
Okay. Insert very serious moment right now. Okay? I was wearing a mini skirt, obviously. First of all, you don't ride behind him. He puts you in front of him. That's your first red flag. No, that's not your first red flag. First red flag is agreeing to go on a horseback ride at 5 o'clock in the evening when no one's at the beach. Second red flag leaving your friend on the beach with Ivan, or me leaving my friend saying, yeah, I'm good. That's a red flag. Third red flag, you're sitting in front of him. He takes me to a bush. A bush. He tried to get it on. You know what I'm saying? It was not cool, people. Insert serious moment. This was a case of molestation. It just was. Yes. I honestly did not know if I was going to make it back to my very best friend in the whole entire world. And I begged him to take me back to my hotel. And I redirected him as to where to drop me off, so he didn't know which room I was in, or which actually block I was in. That was scary. Yeah. But I have a natural, as Nay has pointed out to me, a natural flirtatious behavior, but not like in a sleazy way or anything like that. I just was naive, oblivious.
Yeah. Well, and it's like eventually we understood what that was and what that looked like. And so, you know, it was like, eyes down, no eye contact, do not make eye contact, do not look, eyes down. Yeah. Eyes down. And you were like, but no, eyes down, no eye contact, do not speak. We are not speaking to the locals. Thank you very much. Do not speak. Go to the beach. Do not cross. Go. Do not collect $200. Just go to the beach, get your beverage. Do not talk to the locals. And we learned those lessons like,
they were hard.
In Veradero, we went to sing karaoke.
Oh, I was locked in the bathroom.
Same situation. I'm sitting in the bar, outdoor bar, and we're singing karaoke, and you have to use the bathroom, and you go, and somebody follows you in again. Yeah. And I didn't see him follow you out. I didn't know that you were trapped in the bathroom. We were very young, traveling for the first time with really good intentions that people were good. Those were pretty valuable lessons for sure.
They were very big eye-openers, I think, to us. I came out of the stall, and one of the hosts, like the bartender, followed me up and came into the bathroom and locked the bathroom door and locked us both in. I was begging him to open the door. My friend is right outside the door. That was crazy. And when you think back, I think, like, what an idiot I am. Like, how naive was I? Because I wouldn't be like that today. And I think, you know, I've had this conversation with many people throughout my life in the past few years that just not the same person I was. I mean, I'm the same person, but like so whimsical and naive back then.
I think that like it's why we mature and grow up and we carry our life experiences with us so that, you know, by the grace of God or whatever was happening in those situations, you got out of them safely, relatively safely. And it could have been worse. And it was like, okay, these are important life lessons.
It's so true.
And when you're traveling in Keokoko and you rent a vehicle, and they tell you not to cross the causeway.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, everybody.
We can continue. We can continue it another time. But my long and short of this.
No. By all means, Nay. Let's finish off like the whole like traveling together with this story, because this is a story I will never in my life live down. And well, you're right. You're right. What is wrong with me? Like, I would not be that person today. Well, a little bit of that person today. Okay, tell the story.
It's a good one, but it's a good story. So we're in Keokoko. We sit on the beach for 4 days. We read our books. We swim, and we're just keeping to ourselves. And then day 4, day 5, we're like, we should do something. We should go on some sort of excursion because we're doing nothing. We're just laying on the beach. Working on our tans, which looked really good, by the way.
Really good. Like, for a ginger, I tanned really well. People don't believe that about me, but I did, right? Like, we had Fridays every day. Every day of the week. I
left looking Cuban. Like, I was surprised they were going to let me go home.
You 100% did.
My teeth were glowing.
As they are today, because you look like you've been to Cuba all summer.
And we go on our excursion and this jet boat tour. Woo! Which is not a jet boat when you live in northwestern Ontario and are surrounded by 1,000 lakes. That was not a jet boat. So we go, and it's you ride your jet boat, and then you go snorkeling, and that's going to be super fun. I had never been snorkeling before. I thought this was going to be such a great time. So we went snorkeling, and of course, the ginger makes friends with the tour guide. And
he was so friendly. He was a pro baseball player. And he's very cute.
He was super friendly. weird. I don't know why he was super friendly.
Well, why wouldn't he be friendly? He was a tour guide. He was friendly with everyone, wasn't he?
Maybe more so with the gingers. I didn't find him as friendly as you. So we go and we're going snorkeling. And so the tour guide, we'll call him Yoidris. He took
That's actually
Bree.
his name.
So he's like,
know.
You come with me. You come with me, Bella Bella. You come. You swim with me. So
I don't
off she
remember any
goes
of this.
in all her mermaid glory ahead of me with the tour guide, and he's got bread in his hands. So there's Yoidris and Bree swimming. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, look at that conch shell. Oh, look at the pretty fish. And I'm swimming behind, and he's feeding the fish bread. So all the big fish are swooping in beside me, touching my person, getting to you and
gross.
all your bread.
Oh.
And they're like, and I'm like, ah!
Oh my
And
God.
you're swimming on your red hair is just flowing in the water with
Oh my-
Yoidris, and down you go.
Oh my God.
So then there we went, and then we had so much fun with the tour guide that we went back another day, and we
Wait.
picked them up after work. It was
Oh,
two
that's
separate
2 days.
days.
Oh my God. Do
So
we have
the
pictures
second
of these
day-
guys?
Yes, somewhere we do.
You need to send them to me so we can put them up for the,
You
Folks
have
to
one
see.
of them because you have a picture of us in the Vitara.
But I feel like we had a picture like on the boat and Yoidris was on the boat.
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay, we need to
I'll
show
send
everybody how cute he was. I mean, he was really cute.
Okay, he was so cute.
He was so cute. He was
We
so
went
nice.
back the next day for more trouble. Yes.
That's right.
And so we went and we picked them up after work. Them, Yoidris and a friend. We'll call the friend Kevin. I don't know what his name was.
It's exactly the right name.
Because that's what he looked like. He looked like a Kevin. We picked them up in our rental vehicle. Cute little Suzuki Vitara.
Vitara.
No roof.
No
It was
roof.
super cute.
Super cute.
And the one rule was, because Kayokoko is an island, do not drive the rental vehicle off the island.
But did they
That was
say
our
that?
one rule. Yes, they said do not leave the island.
Oh my God. I had googly eyes for Yoidris, obviously.
We picked them up, and then we hung out, and then we were like, okay, we're done now,
Moron.
bye. They're not allowed to like bring their own cars. They don't have cars. They get on like the flatbeds of trucks to come to work or a bus. And because we picked them up, they had missed all their buses home, and now they needed a ride to the town of Moron.
I don't know.
That's what we were.
It's a little bit of foreshadowing there. Going to Moron.
Across the causeway in the rental vehicle
Oh.
that we weren't supposed to do. And off we went. And we had them with us, and they were speaking Spanish. And we got at the end of the causeway, and there were like
We stopped at a gas station and got beer.
Yes, but not gas. No, we got beer with the boys who spoke Spanish as we went across the causeway, and we got to this like port of entry to the town of Moron, and they just spoke Spanish to the men with guns, and away we went onto the mainland. And then we toured around, and then we went to a park.
Okay, wait a minute. Why don't I remember that? Like they spoke Spanish to men with guns into Moron?
Well, they were yes, because we had to go. Remember that at the end of the causeway when we couldn't get home? A few hours later?
Girl, I was in love because I don't remember any of
Oh
that.
my God.
I obviously had googly eyes for Yoidris because, like, I don't remember that.
Yeah, so we get off the causeway when we have them with us, and they're all speaking Spanish to the guards, and I'm sure the conversation was like, "Oh, look at the honeys you got in your vehicle," and we're like, "Hey,
We were honeys. We were honeys.
okay." We were not very smart honeys that day, so we have to drive them a whole nother town. We drop them off. Now it's dark.
Wait a minute. I have to pause
Now
there
we're
for a
at-
second. We dropped them off. Is that the time that I gave him my watch?
Yes. Is that the time that I got sexually molested by Kevin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing. Again, not sure why we wear skirts.
Why did we do that? Also, we separated because we went for a walk on the freshwater lake, and then you went for a walk. And Yoidris, not once tried to Ivan horseman me. Not once. He was so respectful. I did not think for a second
a
that
verb.
you were, right? Like I didn't think for a second you were being like mauled and molested by Kevin.
Yeah.
And then
like, no, thank you.
We dropped them off. You've already been molested by Kevin. I think I'm never going to see Yoidris again.
Yeah. So we say our goodbyes. It's now dark.
Give him my watch.
We are out of gas, and we have no idea where we are. And again, we do not have Google Maps. We do not have cell phones. Yeah, we cannot call the hotel and be like, hey, we're a little bit lost. What are the directions to where we're staying? Nope. It was like, you figure it out. And it was literally like, oh, I kind of remember going by that sign. That tree looks familiar.
Flamingos.
Well, the flamingos were so beautiful.
They were so beautiful.
We wouldn't have seen them if we didn't cross the causeway.
It was totally worth it then, obviously.
It was totally worth it. So we got gas. Then we got back to the little like port of entry.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop you for a second. Hold on. Let's just talk quickly about the causeway. This is what I remember, okay? Before you get to like the big shabam of the whole night, which is, yes, the causeway. There are no lights on that road. Like you're literally driving across the ocean. It is pitch black. There is no way of seeing anything except for your headlights. There are no street lights, nothing. I just remember thinking like, do not veer off to the right or left, or remember that was the thing, like, or we're gonna end up in the ocean. There's no barricade.
No, there's no guardrails.
There's no guardrails. That's what I meant.
You're literally driving.
Yeah.
You're literally driving on the shallowest part of the ocean.
Yes.
On a road that's been built over the shallowest part of the ocean, and if you go off the edge,
crazy,
you swim.
No, that was nuts.
Sink.
Yeah.
Or die.
God. We were badasses.
So we get you, not we. You. There's no we. There's no we in the bad appleness. A bad apple Ginger and her best brunette friend.
Oh my God. That should be a podcast.
That's the name of the podcast.
I love
The bad apple Ginger and her brunette friend. So we get back to the port of entry, and the Spanish guys with guns say, pare.
Oh,
pasaporte.
This is the point where you drink.
And we don't have our passports. Because when we went in with the Cubans, we didn't need passports because the Cubans were bringing girls into the town and they did all their sweet talking. Yes. But when you try to get out of the town
in hindsight,
with no passport, it was very bad. And they were like, passports, and we were like, no. And they're like, passport, you no go. And it was like, remember, hotel wristband?
Yes.
We're staying here. Yeah. And like we had our wallets open. Driver's license, health card, social insurance number. Like,
honestly,
it was just...
Nate, I remember sitting in the passenger seat because obviously you were driving and I was just obviously on a little whim, extravaganza, whatever you call it. I don't know. And when they came out with their machine guns and leaned into the window, like, this is when the moment gets very real. Like, we were like, we don't have our passports. We have wristbands. And they're like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And I remember putting my head down and, like, silently bawling. And you were silently bawling. Yeah. And we didn't even know. Like, I think what made them turn around? You remember this, like, better than I do. I mean, although, no, I can actually put myself right back in that passenger seat. Like, it was scary stuff.
Yeah. I just remember, like, thinking, like, we've got nothing else. We've offered them the identification that we had. They knew where we were staying. And I remember being frustrated and saying, but you let us across. Yeah. Like, you just let us across a few hours ago. And he was like, no. No passport, no go. And I think we just got really quiet. I remember it being very quiet in the vehicle. And... I think they were just like, and I remember him saying, you go, you do not ever cross again. Yeah. It was like, this is your free pass. And I often think, like, things could have been so bad. Our families could never saw us again after that. No. If they threw us in a Cuban prison, we were never coming back.
We were never coming back. And you know, like, we laugh at our stories, but the thing is that is so real in life today. Like how many cases, how many documentaries are there out there on people who go on vacation, they don't see their child again or their husband again or their wife again. Like it's so scary. And again, we can laugh at it, but it's only because we survived and we know that we were naive and young. But that's no excuse. Like you just you can't do that. You cannot do that.
No.
It's so scary. And the machine guns, like looking in the window, like I remember thinking like, we are going to prison. They're going to take us.
Well, and if you think about it, we're talking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for a generation. We didn't have information like we had it now. Also, let's be fair.
Yeah.
We didn't have cell phones.
Nope.
We didn't have
no one could track us, like find me.
No.
None of that.
No. To live now and be so fully connected and to imagine what that moment was like when you literally were completely at the disposal of those guards. There was no dialing 911 silently on the phone, hoping that somebody was going to help. There was none of that. It was literally, we were so fortunate that they let us go back to the hotel. And I just remember the drive over the causeway being very quiet. There was nothing even to say at that point. We literally were supposed to have the vehicle back at 8. It was 11:30. We left the keys inside of it, and we just were like, walked away like we were never here. Here's your vehicle. This night never happened.
You know what, Nay? Like, honestly, it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing because it would just never happen with us today or even 10, 15 years ago. Like, that would not happen with us. And I think that just goes to show you how naive we are at that age. And I don't think we're the only ones. I say we, but I mean, obviously I was the culprit here because I'm like, I want to see the baseball boy again.
We can talk about culprit, Brie, but it's not that. It's just a difference in our personalities, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're super outgoing. We are that, like, opposite of each other sometimes. Like, sure, I'm talkative, absolutely. But you're just outgoing and you're fun and you're bubbly and you have an energy about you that attracts other people. And so I'm usually super pumped to go along for the ride. Like, it's like an easy, fun time for me, right? Where I just let you lead the way and I know that we're going to meet people and we're going to have a really great time. And so there's something to be said for that as well, right? Did we learn from our mistakes?
Yeah.
We traveled in 2017.
Yes.
And if you remember, there was the one hotel worker.
The bartender?
And,
the beach bartender, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was just making comments about you and your body and your body and your looks and things like that. And even then,
which I don't get, by the way, like at all. It's just because I'm different. I look different from Hispanic people. That's all it is. They're just like, oh, you're so different.
But you are. And I just remember, like, you're trying to be polite because there's part of you that doesn't want to be rude to them, right? And then
I wasn't being flirtatious. Like, I've learned my lesson. I was not happy or comfortable with that at all. But I'm still trying to be polite to, like, get him to go away, right? Like,
and then the next day he wouldn't stop. And I just remember I was like, you keep walking. I've got this one. And I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And, you're like, hi. I'm like, nope. Eyes down. No eye contact. Keep walking, because it's just, sometimes you can't be polite.
I never wanted the attention. That's the thing. I was just too polite. I'm just naive like that. And I was naive like that. And I'd like to think that I'm a lot better. A lot better now.
I would say you are a lot better. And on that note, I mean, like, we haven't traveled since 2017. So it's clearly time for us to hit the beach.
Totes! And then we can do like a review of our updated, mature traveling style.
How to travel at almost 50.
We're going to do it. Want a high five on it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
We have to do that. That would be super fun. We're just, I think, so fortunate that that we have the desire to stay connected, and to just make it work, and we laugh and we are honest, and we can share all the things, all the good, the bad, all the things in between, all the things that life throws at us, right? So it's always better when you got a ginger beside you pulling you through.
Hey, I've always wanted to be a brunette with brown eyes. You know how that is my thing. Like, I love brunettes with brown eyes. You always want what you don't have.
Yeah.
But I have come into my ginger shell. People used to say to me, like, hey, Carrot Top. And I'm like, dude, Carrot Tops are green.
Well, you're not wrong.
I think I grew into my gingerness, and I've owned it for most of my adult life now. So, but I thank you for putting up with all of the ginger nonsense throughout our friendship.
I'm here for it.
Ooh, you are here for it. So this is probably a good time that we just like let us go on a good, really healthy friendship note. And I just really appreciate you, Nay. You're my favorite in the whole entire world.
Ditto. I'm so grateful for you all the time, Bree. And I love that, technology keeps us connected, but we would be connected without it as well. It just makes it a little bit better. So
it does.
Thanks for having me.
We have a lot of tales to tell. So if you want to follow along, feel free to subscribe and click the notification bell. We, Nay and I, appreciate your support greatly. Thank you so much. And don't forget, be good, behave, and be beautiful.